finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a Beat the Big Dog Thursday in the Doghouse. Week 14 of this season's Beat the Big Dog, which goes all the way through the end of the Super Bowl. And yes, you are still playing for tickets to the TransPerfect Music City Bowl, which, of course, will pit Iowa and Kentucky on New Year's Eve, 11 a.m. in Nashville. So we still have got tickets for those for you. That if you can go ahead and beat me, you'll get those tickets. It's coming up a little bit later on into 1 o'clock. Now, look, one listener gets to go head-to-head with me on 6 games against the spread, and I give you the opinion of Grizz the Magnificent as well. Now, last week I dropped a little 6-0 against the spread on you guys. The second one this season, in fact, to improve my record of 43-35. I'm all or nothing. No, I mean, I'll drop a 6-0, and then I turn around and drop a 1-5. I mean, I just can't just have like 4-2s. That's all I want is a 4-2 once in a while. And I don't get any 4-2s. I'm either, 2-4, 5-1. I mean, it's crazy. But in any event, 43-35. I am one game better than you, the listeners, now, who are 42-36 now. And I am 2 games back of Grizz, who leads the entire field with a record of 45-35. Woo! After going 5-1 last week. That's him. Yeah, he gets the big applause for Grizz. All right. I gotta say,
you're not that guy, pal. Trust me, you're not that guy.
I gotta say, today, I'm going to be totally brutally honest with you guys. I am confused. I am a bit confused today. And I'm just going to put it out there because I say stuff on this radio show. I don't avoid controversial stuff. I just say stuff on this radio show. But I need to say this because I'm confused. I'm looking for help. I'm looking for clarification.
Huh?
I'm looking for somebody to give me a little bit of input. Because I am not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'm going to tell you that right now. All right, my crayons are a little bit dull. But did we, and by we, I mean us, and by us, I mean the United States of America, did we just trade one of the most dangerous and notorious arms dealers in the world to Russia for a WNBA player that won't stand for the anthem and doesn't even think we should play the anthem anymore? I mean, the last time Brittany Griner was here, she was on a knee during the anthem. The next time she's here, she better be on her knees kissing our very soil. And this was a straight-up deal? I mean, we don't even get the ex-Marine back? Wait, Dad. The Marine veteran? There is no such thing as an ex-Marine. Just ask Bobby White. There are no ex-Marines. Once a Marine, always a Marine. We don't get the Marine veteran back? That is serving 16 years for allegedly being a spy? Cowboys linebacker Micah Parsons tweeted, "We left behind a Marine? Nah, brah." Then he also tweeted, when Biden tweeted that, she's on a plane, she'll be home safely. Parsons said, "We still aren't voting for you." That later he walked back the comments. Parsons is from a military family. He walked back the comments later. He said he's not a conservative. He just doesn't like it. He goes, "I'm not a Trump supporter, but I don't like this guy either." That's a big chunk of America, don't you think? Not a Trump supporter, but I don't like this guy either. That pretty much sums it up. I mean, look, no doubt 9 years was extensive for Griner for some vials of CBD oil that she said she forgot to take out of her bag because, it's okay in certain places, but it's not okay in Russia. And she got caught with it at the airport, and that's how she ended up. She pleaded guilty, and they still have a trial. In Russia, you plead guilty. You go, okay, I'm guilty. I did it. And they're like, all right, now we're going to put you on trial. No, I already said I did it. No, we're going to put you on trial anyway. They put her on trial, and they said that you're guilty. She said, I'm guilty. She said, you're good. We accept you're guilty. And then they sentenced her to 9 years in some prison colony. Of course, they sentenced her to 9 years because they got a American that checks a bunch of boxes. You know what I mean? Because if you're an American and you're in one of these categories, it just touches all of these different boxes. She's a minority. She's a they. She's got a wife, or they got a wife. I mean, she's checking all of these boxes, and they're over there like, yeah, we're gonna get our convicted arms dealer back. The 9 years was ridiculous. We needed to get her, or they, back home. I don't know. Maybe she's a her. I don't know. We needed to get them back home. There was no doubt about it, or her back home. I'm good with that. But trading Victor Bout? I mean, this dude is literally the merchant of death. They did a movie about him. Nicolas Cage was in it. Didn't even get a really good actor. I got Nicolas Cage. The merchant of death. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison here 11 years ago for, quote, conspiracy to kill Americans. Damn. I mean, she got 9 years for CBD oil. We give a guy 15 years for conspiracy to kill Americans. What the hell would he have gotten over there? Conspiracy to kill Russians. They would have just killed him. I don't know. I don't know. Again, I'm not making light of the situation, but we have a Marine over there that's been sentenced to 16 years for something that the State Department and he say is not true, that he's a spy, that he's not a spy. We can't get our Marine back. We bring Brittany Griner back for a convicted arms dealer, the merchant of death. We can't get something more than Brittany Griner? Can't get our Marine? All right. On that note, phone lines are open. That's who's got the stones to talk to me about this. Phone lines are open. 256-576-4977. Text the show, 732-9TA-SHOW. 732-982-7469. I may be totally off. I may be totally way off on this. I may be clueless. And I'm okay. If you tell me I'm clueless, I'm all right. Explain it to me. Explain it to me. Twitter feed, at Thom Abraham Show. Stations feed, at 97.7 ESPN. We are also on the Facebook at 97.7 ESPN, where you can watch the show. You can watch it on Twitch and on YouTube at WZZN TV. Go to 977ESPN.com, get links to all of that stuff, and find out about our Christmas party as well. On all our social media, you can find out about our great Christmas party. It's coming up Wednesday. That's right, Wednesday. It's coming up like right around the corner. Wednesday, December 14th. Our annual listener Christmas party is back, presented by Talent Heating and Air at Flow Trampoline Park on Drake Ave for the entire family. We are going to fill up the Rambo Marine Malibu wake boat with unwrapped toys for boys and girls. And there is a rumor that one of our great sponsors, Eagle Insulation, is going to be making an appearance. They may fill that damn boat up by themselves. Woo! Yeah, I heard this. We're going to find out. Get that Rambo Marine boat filled. Your gift, unwrapped, gets you into the party. You get food catered by Bubby's Diner. The party is from 4 to 8, and we will have The Drive broadcasting live down there from 5 to 7. And everybody who gets in the party with their gift, they also get to go and play in the mini putt-putt contest, a 12-hole course in mini putt-putt. No, a 6-hole course. I'm sorry. You get to choose one of 2 6-hole courses to play putt-putt to win great prizes. The party is made possible by all our great sponsors at Talent Heating and Air and Rambo Marine and TOC and Valley Equipment and North Alabama Mortgage and Woody Anderson Ford and Bubby's, Flow Trampoline Park, and more. And we thank you guys. It's next. Come out. Don't make me beg. Just come out there to Flow. By the way, I'll be doing my show from Flow that day from noon to 2 that day as well. And they'll be decorating and things like that, and I'll be there. So if you want to just come by and say hello, you can do that. Check the joint out, and then come back later for the party. Tonight on air and tomorrow on Zone 2, Buckhorn basketball looks to improve on their 6-3 record with Austin tonight and Lincoln County tomorrow. In a few minutes, head coach Patrick Harding will join us with an update on how things are going. At the top of the one, Steve Merrill from Pro Sports Info is back. We'll get a pros look at the Army-Navy game, plus the bowl games, early look at those numbers, and the big weekend in the NFL. Are you seeing these reports that Baker Mayfield could start tonight for the Rams? What a disaster L.A. is. And with the Raiders in town tonight, that's going to be all silver and black crowd there. All silver and black. I just let the Raiders wear their home gear. It would be very appropriate. In the meantime, the Lions got to be loving this mess in L.A. So they get the Rams' number 1 draft pick. They get the Rams' first-round draft pick this year for the Matt Stafford deal. And now the Rams pick is looking like a top 5 selection. What were the odds when they made this deal that the Rams pick that the Lions were getting would be higher than their pick, their own pick? In fact, right now, picks number 3, 4, and 5 are owned by Seattle from Denver in the Russell Wilson deal. Seattle's this great team, and Denver sucks. So Seattle's got their first pick. The Lions have the Rams pick, and the Eagles, who got the New Orleans Saints pick. The Eagles are like going to the Super Bowl. They're going to finish. They're going to have the 5th pick in the draft. Last year, the Saints traded this year's first-round pick so they would have 2 first-round picks last year. Remember, they wanted a second pick, so they swapped, and they got the Eagles' first-round pick, and the Eagles got the Saints this year. The Saints drafted Chris Olave, who's working out well, and Trevor Penning, the offensive lineman who has been hurt most of the season. Over there in that little glass room, playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax and answering phones, and probably knows more than me about most things. It's DJ Grizzy Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Now, Tom. Hey, Tom.
Testosterone high today. Testosterone, whatever the it is.
It really doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what you say.
Any of you play sports?
So, Grizz, it would be like trading you, one of the best producers I've ever had. It would be like trading you, and what I get back is a piece of gum. You know what I mean? It'd be something like that. It'd be like, let me trade Grizz.
You're pretty good for a little while, then you just get tired of it. You know,
and you give me, some
like my dating life.
Twine,
like my dating life, it's good for bubble gum. It's good for a while, and then you just
good
get rid
for
of
a
me.
minute. mean, am I screwed up here?
Why aren't we comparing this to one of the worst trades ever in sports? Like, or just is this like
what?
just
What
go
would it
down?
be? I mean, this is it. She's a sports person. This is the worst trade ever in sports.
I mean, I think we got fleeced on this deal. We kind of got fleeced on this deal a little bit.
I mean, throw in some Baker Mayfield. Give us Baker Mayfield. You know what I mean? Throw in something. I mean, my God, we just sent you the merchant of death. We're going to give you the merchant of death. And you're going to give us some strokey WNBA player that doesn't want to kneel for the national anthem.
By the way, it's just as bad as about as bad as the LA Rams, because this is the same GM and Les Snead that said, blank those picks, and now apparently those picks are really needed.
Yeah. Well, and he got his Super Bowl. He
does have a Super Bowl, but this is probably one of the worst
Super Bowl.
This is like one of the worst defending Super Bowl teams I think I've ever seen. Is this probably one of the worst you've ever seen?
This is going to be bad. I mean, they might end up with the worst. Look that up, by the way. Research that. What's the worst record of a defending Super Bowl champ? Text window. I wish we would trade Joe. You get what you vote for. Text window. You have it right. As soon as the Russians had a single thing to hold Griner for, they had this administration by the short hairs. Any administration that gives a crap about Americans would have demanded our Marine as part of the deal. Politicians clowned again by Putin. That's from the Chubby Ninja. Let me get these calls in here.
The 2003 Bucks.
2003 Bucks. What did they do the year after John Gruden won the Super Bowl?
The last team to have a losing record after winning.
Yeah, but what's the worst record after winning?
I'm trying to find.
That's what we want to find.
I'm trying to find.
All right, let me go to the lines. Kramer is up first. Kramer, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, big dog, I'm as good as 9-3 will get me. First place in the AFC, so feeling good about that.
That is good.
Not feeling good that Von Miller's out for the year, but we'll see. Next man up, right? Yeah,
exactly. And he had been a big contributor.
Yeah, I know it. So we'll see how it plays out. So I'm looking forward to it, though. At least we still got some football. College may be over except for bowls, but at least we got some good NFL.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a good stretch run in the NFL.
Hey, so I had a comment on this Brittany Griner thing. Nothing about Brittany Griner, really, except for just thinking to myself, Russia knew where they were at. They had all the leverage in this, right? So they know how American politics is and how they're playing up to the media and everything like that. So they had all the leverage. You think we could have got more pieces for that? Then I'm thinking, if you relate this to an NFL draft, it would be like the Green Bay Packers fleecing the 49ers right now with Aaron Rodgers. Hey, we know you need quarterback. We know how bad you want a quarterback, and we're going to just take you to the, take you to the woodshed to give you Aaron Rodgers. So I think it's.
But they would get something back more than like Rice-A-Roni. You know what I mean? From San Francisco, we'll give you a box of Rice-A-Roni. You give us Aaron Rodgers. I mean, we're giving up the merchant of death.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You get more for that. Yeah. And I was also thinking, when it comes to Trump, the whole political game is kind of like a whole big show of Celebrity Apprentice. So maybe Trump is the best suited to lead it. Maybe he's the best person. Maybe he's the best person to pull all the strings. So,
and in all fairness, Trump couldn't get the Marine back either. When they were trying to get the for the last 4 years, they've been trying to get this guy back, and so I know he was making an effort to get the guy back as well. But I don't know. It just seems weird that we would, at some point in time, you'd think you say, you know what, I get it, but you want the merchant of death. We really want her back bad, but we're not giving you the merchant of death. We're not giving you a convicted arms dealer who was convicted for conspiracy to kill Americans because you got our WNBA player that had CBD oil. It just doesn't make any sense.
How ironic is that? That the whole gun thing, gun control, all this other stuff we want to take weapons or whatever else the Democrats are trying to do that people say, and now we're giving up an arms dealer. So by a Democratic president, just seems very ironic.
For a woman that knelt during the national anthem and thinks that we should never even play the national anthem. She said the national anthem doesn't represent her, and so we shouldn't play the national anthem anymore because it was written years ago and it doesn't represent the people in America now. Which is crap.
Yeah, I think 2 for 1 with some gas thrown on the side and okay for the Merchant of Death. Something.
2 for 1, definitely. All right, Kramer. Good job by you. Good to hear your voice. All right, man.
Hey, yeah, good to hear you, too. Talk to you later.
Hey, come to the party. You coming to the party next week? Come to the party.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try my best. Talk to you later.
All right. Got to have him at the party. Grumpy is next. I want to check that. Bama Bino is next in order of the longest wait. Bama Bino, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, Tom, I always like your show.
Appreciate it.
I tell you, I usually talk sports, but, if we wasn't in America and have the freedoms of people like Paul Whelan and myself and millions of others that fought for this country, Biden wouldn't be able to stick his hand in a cookie jar and sell America out to China and make no reservations for anybody that actually tries to do right. So we need to get our priorities straight. People need to start paying attention to the news. And I'll just put it out there. Now, I don't like some of Trump's antics, but I'll tell you something. Everything he done, he thought was right for what's best for our country.
Right.
And you can be a Ron DeSantis guy all you want, but he's going to have to take. If he gets a nomination, he would have to take some corrupt corporate money. Then you'd be on Richard Shelby's side, signing a blank check, sending missiles to Ukraine, and half of them not getting there, and the politicians putting them in their pocket. People's going to have to start paying attention. I love sports, but one thing I love more than anything is faith, family, and patriotism. And we couldn't do nothing about Alabama or Auburn or none of that if we didn't live in the best country in the world. And people need to start waking up with the fake news. If it's not Fox News, it's fake news.
Well, I'll be honest with you. If it didn't have a sports hook, I mean, I wouldn't have talked about it. I mean, because I got a lot of opinion about a lot of political stuff, but I don't do a political show. But this is about a sports figure. You know what I mean? And the question, I mean, there was one person that said, one WNBA person that said, oh, if it was LeBron James, he would have been home that week. Well, no, maybe not. No, they would. Yeah, no, exactly. But plus, we would have got we'd have got a lot more for him. You know what I mean? I mean, I would think that we wouldn't be sending an arms dealer. You know,
Trump had stayed in office by now, they would have put sanctions on China and Russia, and he would choke them out of any kind of deal with trading with them. And I bet you Paul Whelan would be back with his family right now.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, Brittany Griner wouldn't have come before him.
Well, let's hope we can get Mr. Whelan back. Thank you for your service,
and
Bino.
let's hope we get Mr. Trump back, too. God bless.
Appreciate your service. Thank you. Now Grumpy is up. Grumpy! What's going on? Sent Grumpy over there. He'd have gotten her. He'd have just sent Grumpy over there. He'd have gone and got her.
But I'm not sure we need any more Trump either, man. I mean, I went for Trump the first time, but if Trump
it's time to move on.
It's time to move on, man. There's, people can do what Trump did without the name Trump. Blah blah blah. We don't need any more Trump. But anyway, this Griner, I just wanted to say that she paid a really heavy. She was stupid for what she did. Blah blah blah. But she paid such a heavy price for what she did because back in the day, I knew guys, and I might have been one of them that brought a little weed back from vacation, brought a little bit of that Acapulco gold back from Acapulco, and it probably about the same amount she brought in, not much, just a little bit, and she went, she went through a lot of stuff for that. She paid a heavy price. I had a friend of mine that was ragging on her and telling me what a terrible person she was, and this, that, and the other thing, and I was like, look, man, she paid a heavy price. So, when we talk about this,
yeah, but that's two different things. That's two different things. Yeah, that's two different things. She may be an awful person, but she may not be. But by all accounts, she seems to have a good heart. I don't like people that diss America. But
let me ask you this. Go ahead.
But that was, what she had was a couple of canisters. So whatever a canister is, maybe the size of this stuff that she used for her injuries and things like that. It was CBD oil. And she was taking it into a country that does not allow that. So you know how it is, man. If you're going overseas, this isn't like coming to America. You're going overseas, you don't know what the hell they're liable to do. You got to be careful.
And this whole LeBron, if it would have been LeBron, he would have bought weed when he got there. I mean, with that, you know what I mean? If you have the money, you'll find what you want. Hey, but on a lighter note, speaking of the national anthem, how did you feel about when Ohio State and Michigan got together in that kumbaya before the game and played the national anthem? I need someone.
It's a band.
I need someone singing it. I don't need the band playing it and no voice.
Well, you know what? I don't know that. When was the last time you saw somebody sing the national anthem at a college football game? It usually is just the band. You go to Alabama-Auburn game, there's nobody singing it. You go to Alabama-Auburn game, and they just played it. The band plays it. No, they don't air it. They did that because they did that thing where they did every other. What he's talking about, for those of you who didn't see it, the two bands came together on a field. This is not unprecedented. This happens often. But the two bands came together, and they both played the national anthem. And what they did was every other person, they meshed the two bands together, so you'd have an Ohio State next to a Michigan. Now, Army-Navy game, both the Army and the Navy band will play together. They'll play the national anthem. And in fact, I got to tell you, I'd be pretty honest with you. Just about every SEC championship game I've been to, now they're on their own sides of the field, but just about every SEC championship game you go to, the one band is on from the 50 one way, and then the other band is the 50 other way, and both bands play the national anthem together.
Yeah, I guess I learned something then because I didn't know that, but I just enjoy the national anthem a lot more when someone's singing it, and preferably someone local, someone I haven't heard of.
Yeah,
it just adds a lot to it to me. I don't want to hear Lee Greenwood sing the national anthem one more time.
You know what, I don't remember Lee singing the national. I mean, he sing that, but I don't remember him actually singing the anthem. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I like it when it's a local flavor and it's got a voice in it. And now I'm wasting your time. Have a good one.
All right, appreciate you. I mean, if they're good, right? If they're good,
as long as they're good, know the words too. Know the words.
Yeah, you got to really know the words,
how do
and you got to be able
the words. I mean, I couldn't sing it right up.
Well, it's a tough song to sing octave-wise. I mean, as a father of two singers, it is a, and one of which has sung the national anthem many, many times. It is from what I understand, it's a very difficult song to sing because the range of it's very low, very high.
I mean, Francis Scott Key was sitting there writing it on a ship while they were getting bombed.
During a war.
I mean, he's sitting there rocking back and forth in prison, sitting there writing this thing.
But he wasn't singing it. He was writing it. It's one thing to write it. He
wasn't really in prison if he was just allowed to just hang out on the side of the ship and watch it.
Yeah, no, he was in the boat. He was in the basement of the boat. Yeah, right. He was in the boat, and he wrote the thing. I actually like it. I like the band playing it. I like just the band playing it. You know what I mean? I don't need to hear unless it's like Whitney Houston, and she's dead. Unless it's somebody that's really, really good at it. It's a crapshoot, man. You're always, you know what I mean? You don't know what you're going to get.
By the way, I don't know if you saw, Santa came today. You, I, and Talking Ball got some gifts.
From
Brandon.
Oh, Brandon. Good job by Brandon.
Yeah,
all right, cool. By the way, did we finally answer our question? It was the Broncos, right? They had the worst record ever. After back-to-back Super Bowls, they went 6-10. Is that right? I don't think there's anything worse than the Broncos 6-10.
Yeah, and there was a couple of times I saw where, that was about it.
6-10 is the worst.
6-10.
7-9 for the Bucs after they won the Super Bowl back in the John Gruden days.
Depends on.
But 6-10 probably is the worst.
I guess depends on how they finish, right? The Rams.
The Rams are gonna break that record. I think they're gonna break. What are they? 3-8 right now? I think they're 3-8. Huh? 3-8. I thought they were 3-9 tonight. After tonight, they'll be 3-9.
Yeah.
3-8. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, head coach Patrick Harding from Buckhorn High School. He is next, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Orthopedics. You're thinking bones, muscles, and joints, right? Well, what else comes to mind? Maybe your spine, therapy, or an arm cast? What about sports medicine? What do you think about when you hear that? Are you thinking about the largest orthopedic group in the state, caring for the most student athletes in North Alabama? Or about the fact that they are teamed up with the state's largest hospital-based sports medicine program to provide care to more schools in North Alabama than any other group. If you are, you have TOC Sports and Huntsville Hospital Sports Center on the brain. If you're not, you should, because Huntsville Hospital Sports Center and TOC Sports have partnered for more than 2 decades to establish a state-of-the-art team of certified athletic trainers and orthopedic specialists who successfully continue to meet and exceed the sports medicine needs of schools, athletes, coaches, and parents in our community. That's why we're thrilled to return as presenting sponsors of the Huntsville City Classic Basketball Tournament, which you can hear right here on 97.7 The Zone. Committing to kids, committing to community, committing to care. That's Huntsville Hospital Sports Center and TOC Sports.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
The holidays are about spending time with family and friends. Brooks & Collier offers unique home, garden, and grilling gifts for everyone. Create the perfect gathering space when you save 25% on a new dining set. Save up to $400 on a new Traeger grill. The season of wonder is also the season for Brooks & Collier. Lucy and Ivy, they're hoping to be on the nice list this year. Spreading holiday cheer for over 75 years. 813 Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
New Year's Eve in Nashville has a new twist this year.
Touchdown, right up the middle, 45 yards.
The 25th annual Trans Perfect Music City Bowl is Saturday, December 31st at 11 a.m.
Still on his feet, touchdown!
Get your ticket to the biggest party in Nashville as the Iowa Hawkeyes and Kentucky Wildcats square off at Nissan Stadium. For more information on this year's game, including ticket availability, visit MusicCityBowl.com. Presented by the Tennessee Lottery.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
It is the single greatest fight song in the history of fight songs. It really is. I mean, I don't even know how these schools get to use it. I don't know how that works. You know what I mean? Do you have to be licensed? I don't know. I don't know that Patrick Harding knows, to be honest with you. I don't know that Matt Patterson would know. I don't know who would know, but that is the fight song for Buckhorn, ripped off by Notre Dame. I don't know who gave Notre Dame permission to use the Buckhorn fight song, but joining us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Tonight on our air against Austin, tomorrow night on Zone 2 against Lincoln County. Buckhorn looking to improve on their 6-3 record, and Coach Patrick Harding joins us. Coach, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, great. Thanks for having me.
So do you have any idea how Buckhorn got to use the Notre Dame fight song and all these other schools that use it, you know, where how that all came about?
I would not be the guy to ask. I'm still pretty new here, so I don't know the history behind that.
Can you imagine if it was like Yay, Alabama, or if it was the Auburn fight song? I mean, that would cut too close to the bone, right? Or Rocky Top or something like that. I mean, he could never do something like – you can get the Notre Dame fight song, but you couldn't use, you know, Rocky Top or something like that as your fight song.
No, I don't think anybody could get away with that around here.
I don't think you would get away with it. That's for sure. All right, boys are playing well. You battle back from down early against Scottsboro, come back and get that win. I think you've won 3 straight now, and this is a good little run that you're on here.
Yeah, so it's probably the toughest stretch in our schedule. We played Grissom and then 2 in Atlanta, then come back for Huntsville and at Lee and at Scottsboro. And so we were happy to win Tuesday night. Certainly Scottsboro is really good. They're probably a contender for a state championship in 5A. I think everybody who knows a little bit about high school basketball around here thinks that as well. I don't think we necessarily played well, but I thought we played really hard, and we competed, and I was proud of that, and excited about the fact that I think we're going to play well. I think we know what we need to work on, and the kids are striving to get better in those areas, so that's exciting.
Well, you go into somebody else's gym, you go down early and battle back to win. I mean, that's a character-building deal, right? I mean, that's something that pays dividends down the road.
Yeah, Tom, we're better for having to go over there and play Tuesday night. It's a really nice gym, but it's a tough place to play. They hadn't been beaten there in a couple of years. I think it was 2020 the last time they lost. It was close to 30 games or maybe more than 30 games since they've been defeated there. So again, it was certainly a quality win. That's for sure. And our kids really competed. Both teams just really competed, and it was just a really good high school game. And we've been fortunate. We've played some really competitive, tough games earlier in the year, so I think it's helping us grow.
I thought it was a misprint, and maybe it was. I don't know, but they're like 3-1 now. That was their first loss. They had only played 3 games because you're playing your 10th game tonight, right? I know you got some tournament action in here, but it seemed weird that they'd only played 3 games.
Yeah, I think they played more than that. I know they have because we had watched 4 tapes and we didn't get all of them. So for whatever reason, some of those games weren't reported, but they had only lost once previous. They lost in overtime to Homewood previous.
Right. Talk about going over for the holiday tournament and to Georgia. You go over there, you play Shiloh and love it, and just talk about that experience for the kids and the value of that as you're building early in the season.
So yeah, we left Thanksgiving night, which was kind of a handle, with family and such. So we had some meet us over there, and others we left Thanksgiving night from Buckhorn, and we didn't get over there till 1 a.m. Eastern, and played 11:30 in the morning, and we really didn't play well. We were disappointed. We lost that game by a bucket, by 1 point. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And and then the second game when we played Lovett, they were really good. They shot the ball extremely well, and we were disappointed in how we played over there. But I do think we come away knowing a little bit more about our team, and I think when we went over there, we had 5 or 6 practices with our football players, so it was good to play. It's more game experience for those guys. And I think like the rest of these games, I think it's helped us grow and focus on things that we need to spend practice time on and prioritize. And I just feel like we're gonna get better each month.
And then you came home and you beat Huntsville in your barn. Go over there, play at Lee. We knew that was going to be a tough game. In your first region game of the year. And you got after those guys with a 10-point win. So, and then the Scottsboro win. But those games against Huntsville and Lee, also very, very good games.
Yeah, I mean, we were challenged each game. Lee played well. It's a hard place to play. They're young, but they're talented. And I think one of their better players didn't dress Friday night, so we were fortunate in that regard. And I could see them really getting better as we move forward. The Huntsville game was a big test for us. Like I said, this is a pretty tough stretch we're going through here, and then tonight facing a really athletic, strong Austin team, it presents a challenge for us and a tough matchup. We're not necessarily big and strong as much as we are skilled, and they're a very physical team. So we're going to have to, much like Shiloh, we're going to have to come ready to play. We get big boyed sometimes, and we can't let that happen tonight.
Tonight and tomorrow night. This is a quirky thing in the schedule, right? I mean, I've been looking through the schedule, and I'm like, how many times you go back to back, and especially back to back at home or back to back on the road. But this back to back tonight against Austin, and then Lincoln County coming down from Fayetteville for a game tomorrow night.
So yeah, this was piggybacked off last year. So when we got here last year, the schedule was for us to go to Austin Thursday and go to Lincoln County Friday. So this is the return game for those two schools, and I don't anticipate us doing that next year. I'd like to stay away from the back-to-backs as much as you can. And obviously, in tournament play, we do that, but in regular season, being in school and all, I really don't like to play the back-to-backs.
Yeah. Patrick Harding with us, Buckhorn basketball coach. All right, so 9 games in is a time where you at this point in time, you should have pretty good feel for your team. Throw me a name or two that is surprising you a little bit, like you said, because you know what you're going to get out of T-Rob. You know what you're going to get out of Caleb Holt. You know some of these other guys that are veterans on the team. But give me a name or two of a guy that is surprising you that's got you nodding your head saying, we didn't see that contribution coming.
Well, I think Austin Childress has helped us maybe more than we anticipated. As soon as he got here, he made an impact from football. I thought it might take him a while, but he's helped us really on both ends of the floor, and he's rebounded the ball well on both ends. And T-Rob got hurt at Lee, and we played the second half without him, and he had to play major minutes. Luke Hill has come in and helped us. Luke's been sick. He's unavailable tonight. But I think Austin's been big for us, and Fred, Derek, and Kyler Douglas at the point guard have been a really solid combination for us. Fred's skill set is his shooting and playmaking. He's passing. He passed it really well at Scottsboro Tuesday night to lead the buckets, and Kyler's kind of that steady senior point guard influence that we need in getting us organized on offense and on the defensive end. So I'm pleased with all our guys, but I think those three are making an impact right away that we didn't know exactly what we might get from them.
How is T-Rob now? I know he played in the game against Scottsboro, but how's he doing now physically?
Well, we're taking care of him. He didn't practice yesterday, and so he'll be available tonight. He's tough as nails and was upset that he wasn't getting to practice this week. But he's got the All-Star game for football next week, so we want to really try to take care of him so he can put his best foot forward. Next week we want him to do well there. So we're limiting his minutes, certainly.
How do you manage something like that? I mean, it is an all-star game. I think he has an opportunity. I haven't talked to Coach Patterson about it, but I think he has an opportunity to go out and play football in college somewhere if he wants. But in a scenario like that where you're in the middle of your season and you got a guy that's going to go off and play in a game like that, I mean, how do you manage that?
Well, you just make decisions based on what's best for the kid. I mean, we're not going to say, no, we got 2 games this week, you can't go down there, or, we're going to use you up here and you won't have anything in the tank for down there. It's, it's just part of high school athletics, and we share our guys, and, it's important that they have a football experience and a basketball experience. If they choose to want to play both those sports, it's up to Coach Patterson and I to try to make that work to the best of our abilities. And, I'm a little nervous. I will say next week we're playing Grissom, who, we need every physical guy we can have. And so we're going to be playing without him Tuesday, and then we're going to be playing without him in an area game Friday against Hazel Green. But there again, it's what's best for T-Rob, so it's really not a hard decision.
All right, finally, we talk about Caleb Holt a lot. We haven't talked about him today, but we kind of get our weekly Caleb Holt update. The kid is obviously he's leading you in scoring. It's tremendous. He's scoring just under 18 points a game. He's an assist guy. He gets everybody. Every time I look at the video, I see him. He's getting everybody involved as much as possible. But one of the things that jumps off the sheet at me is he's 84% from the line, and that means something, right? Because I would think that that teams are trying to hack him or trying to are very physical with him. So it's important for him, and he likes to take it to the cup. So it's important that he can hit his free throws, and he's the best free throw shooter you got on the team, just about.
Yeah, he's put a lot of work in there, and I suspect he'll get fouled more. I really expect he'll get 6 to 8 free throws a game. I don't think he's there yet, but he's shooting at a really, really good rate, and he's a guy that attacks the rim a lot, so we expect him to get fouled a lot, and we want to put it in his hands late, so when teams are fouling to stop the clock, he's the one getting 2 points for us, because he is, by a pretty substantial margin so far, our most efficient free throw shooter.
Well, Coach, we've been getting a lot of positive response. Tonight's game on the air, tomorrow night on Zone 2. People are enjoying the squeaking of the sneakers and hearing the boys bring these Buckhorn Buck games to life on the air. And good luck, man. Go get them. Let's go get 2 more wins.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. It's Coach Patrick Harding. All right, let's get a break in here. We will come back, set you up for hour number 2 next, right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Football season is here, and as always, the best place to catch every game is downtown at Humphrey's Bar and Grill. Humphrey's is celebrating by bringing back their game day football specials. $2.75 Miller Lite, Coors Light, Yingling, and $3.50 Yellowhammer Gold Pints. $4 Fireball shots. Anytime football is on. And don't forget football trivia every Sunday night at 6. The best place to catch all the games all season long is downtown at Humphrey's Bar and Grill.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatewitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Men, are you asking yourself questions like, why am I gaining fat? Why is my energy or sex drive down? And maybe you haven't been getting the exercise you need. If you want to get back to the man you used to be, but just don't have that youthful energy, that edge you once had, you very well might have low testosterone. Low T causes all kinds of issues, from a reduced libido, lower drive, and bad sleep patterns, to problems with muscle gain and bone density, and more. It may even contribute to erectile dysfunction. And if this sounds like you, it's probably time to get treated for your low T. At the Huntsville Men's Clinic, we've treated many men for low T. We've seen them put on muscle, add to their energy, improve their sex lives, get better sleep, and just feel better. Plus, if you're like most men, you'll see results in only a few weeks. So make an appointment today and experience how low testosterone therapy can truly change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 with results in minutes. Call today, 256-368-0333. That's 256-368-0333. Or go to HuntsvilleMen'sClinic.com. That's HuntsvilleMen'sClinic.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Rambo Marine in Hazel Green is your one-stop shop for all things boating. Whether you are ready to surf with the newest Malibu wake boat or cruise on a Cobalt or Barletta pontoon, we have a boat ready for you and your family. Rambo Marine provides exceptional service second to none, so that you are ready to hit the water in no time. Stop by Rambo Marine today. We know boats.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 977 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Let's slip Keith, the Michigan fan, in here. Keith, welcome to the show. How are you?
Doing all right, big dog. Hey, quick question.
Yeah.
I just listening to you and watching ESPN, I saw where the Lions are -2 playing against Minnesota. I don't understand that. I mean, Minnesota's 8-2 and the Lions are 5-7. What's going on?
Yeah, that is really weird. You know, I gotta ask Steve Merrill that at the top of the hour. That game opened Minnesota -3, and it's flipped 5 points to where Detroit is now a 2.5-point favorite at home in that game against the Vikings. People just don't believe in the Vikings. They were kind of exposed against the Cowboys when they got whacked in that game. And now here comes Detroit, man. And I think they've won 4 out of the last 5 or 5 out of the last 7 or something like that.
4 out of the last 5.
Yeah.
But now it's a few games, like they should have beat Philadelphia and a couple other teams that they had a good chance to win.
All right.
I'm always pulling for them because, especially now that I got money on them too. Because in the beginning of it, before when I went and put money on Michigan, I also threw a C note on the Lions. I couldn't turn down.
To do what? To make the playoffs or to win the division or to do what?
Okay, I got 50 on them to win the division, 50 to win the NFC, and 100 to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, gosh, that'd be a hell of a payback.
Yeah, well, $11,025.
God bless
For
you.
100, yeah, I had to do that. Yeah, but I got all my money back with Michigan winning the Big Ten. So I'm playing with house money
So
now.
it's house money now, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But, hey, do you remember Gary Hart? He was a politician.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he got caught with a chick on his boat.
Yeah.
And she wasn't his wife, so he had to withdraw from the president nominee, of a Democratic nominee.
Right.
I'm saying that because has morals really declined so bad to where somebody back then would, hey, I did wrong, I'm withdrawing my name. And today you have somebody like Trump who should be in jail. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, and it's only been 20, 30 years. Has morals declined that bad to where the people of the country don't even care what their politicians do anymore? I mean,
let me tell you something. I'll tell you where
matter?
Let me tell you where I think the turning point was. I think the turning point was the guy that went on the Arsenio Hall show and played a saxophone. I mean, Bill Clinton. I mean, look at what Bill Clinton did in office. I mean, there's not even a doubt about it. Look what he was doing in office. But I'll say this too, Keith. You and I are old enough to know this. We know a lot more than we knew then. I mean, there are stories now that John F. Kennedy back in the day had people on the door while he was screwing around with women in the White House that weren't his wife. You know what I mean? So maybe we just know more now. Yeah.
Him and his brother shared Marilyn Monroe.
Exactly. And we just so now we know more. So maybe it's worked that way. I appreciate the call. It's a good job by you. All right, coming up next, Steve Merrill, Pro Sports Info, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Champy's famous fried chicken started in Chattanooga, but the history of the fried chicken, hand-rolled Mississippi Delta tamales, and comfort food sides started decades before. Champy's famous fried chicken is made from an old family recipe from down in the Delta, and everything is fresh and homemade, including all of the sides and desserts. Come visit Champy's famous fried chicken. You'll find it's the best fried chicken and hand-rolled tamales you've ever had. On Madison Boulevard in the old Bison's location in the Publix Plaza with 22 taps in the full-service bar and 2 outdoor patios. See ya at Champy's.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Coming up this Wednesday from 4 to 8 p.m., 97.7 ESPN The Zone is bringing back our annual Listener Christmas Party presented by Talent Heating and Air and catered by Bubby's Diner. You and your family are invited to join us at Flow Trampoline Park on Drake Avenue for all the fun, including a live radio broadcast, mini putt-putt contest for great prizes, and more. Your admission is an unwrapped toy for boys and girls to help build a Rambo Marine Malibu wake boat. That's this Wednesday from 4 to 8 p.m. at Flow Trampoline Park. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Russia has freed WNBA star Brittany Griner in a dramatic high-level prisoner exchange, with the U.S. releasing a notorious Russian arms dealer. President Joe Biden said Griner is safe on a plane on her way home. This ends her nearly 10-month detention after her arrest in a Moscow airport when customs officials claimed they found vape canisters with cannabis oil in her luggage. In August, she was sentenced to 9 years in prison on drug possession. NFL. ESPN's Adam Schefter's reporting the Rams want to go through pregame warm-ups tonight to see how John Wolford's doing before deciding who will start at quarterback. Wolford listed as questionable with a neck injury. If he's not healthy enough to play, Baker Mayfield would be in line to start against the Raiders. From ESPN's Michael Rothstein, the Falcons with a quarterback change, benching Marcus Mariota the rest of the way for rookie Desmond Ridder.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tonight, the Raiders and Rams kicking off Week 14. Las Vegas, the 6.5-point road favorite. The Falcons and Saints, each on a bye week. They will play each other in New Orleans a week from Sunday. 3 NBA games tonight. The Clippers, a 2.5-point underdog on the road against the Heat. Houston, a 1-point favorite in San Antonio against the Spurs. The Nuggets, a 1-point favorite at Portland. Philadelphia will host the Army-Navy game for the 89th time. The 123rd all-time meeting on the football field between the service academies Saturday afternoon. Navy going for back-to-back wins in the series. They're a 2.5-point favorite. The over-under set at 43.5. Red Hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwhiners.com. Save 75% on any best bet package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75 at experts.winnersandwhiners.com.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky this afternoon. I do think we are going to get a couple of glimpses of sunshine. Temperatures still going to be well above where we should be this time of year. Highs easily climbing into the low and mid-70s. A couple of isolated showers certainly can't be ruled out through the heart of the afternoon, but it does look like many of us might actually spend a good chunk of the day dry. Better opportunities for rain as we head into the overnight, and then early Friday morning, those opportunities for rain are going to continue through Friday afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Yeah, welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. By the way, Keith is he's sneaky good, isn't he? I mean, he's sneaky. Grizz, you know exactly what he was doing. Keith could not dispute my Brittany Griner take. Like we did what? We gave who for what?
Wait, what?
I mean, he could not dispute the Brittany Griner take. So instead of calling and disputing the Brittany Griner take, he went after Trump. You know, I don't understand. How can Trump run for president? Shouldn't he be in jail? He went down that path. He didn't want to dispute the fact that we just traded the freaking merchant of death for a WNBA player.
At this point, I guess at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter, and she's free. And yeah, we'll talk about how we probably got fleeced on this is the worst trade ever. It's the worst fantasy football trade I've ever been a part of right here.
Oh Lord! At least get some. Throw in Baker Mayfield or something like that. I mean, get something more for that. I mean, come on. All right, we do have a Beat the Big Dog coming up after this segment, but we're going to help you out a little bit by giving you one of the best handicappers on the planet. And it's very, very apropos right after that last question that we had from a listener that I need to now ask Steve Merrill. And he joins us from Pro Sports Info. He's on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Steve, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, Tom, doing well. How you been doing?
I'm great. I'm confused today because I think we just traded the Merchant of Death for a WNBA player. I'm not sure. I thought maybe we'd get a little bit more than I thought. Maybe we could get our Marine back. You know what I mean?
She's got a better post move.
Apparently. Good gracious almighty. I don't know. It's if you don't laugh, you cry, I guess, with some of the stuff that's going on nowadays. All right, I got to ask you a question. Our last caller asked he's a Lions fan. And he's like, what happened? Is like Kirk Cousins? What's going on? How are the Lions a 2.5-point favorite over the 10-2 Vikings at home? This line opened up with the Vikings as a 3-point favorite and is flipped like an injury happened. What is going on that the Lions, who are playing well but are 5-7, are now a 2.5-point favorite over the Vikings?
Yeah, it's because Minnesota is one of the phoniest 10-2 straight up teams ever. You know, I talked about this when a couple weeks ago when the Vikings were, I guess, 8-1, and then they lost to Dallas 40-3. And by the way, we had a strong best bet at wagertalk.com for my clients on the Cowboys in that game. And I thought Minnesota was a phony team then. They were a home dog to Dallas as an 8-1. In fact, I think they were the first 8-1 home dog in like several decades in the NFL, and they lost by 37. They were getting outgained by about half a yard per play at the time. Now they're getting outgained by a full yard per play. They average 5.4. They give up 6.3 on the season. Yards per play is one of the best indicators of how good you really are. This would obviously equate to like a 5-7 or 4-8 team normally. I'm not saying the Vikings are that bad, but that's what the numbers are saying they should be. Whereas the Lions on the season, 5.9, they allow 6.4. So they both give up about the same, but the Lions are about a half a point better, half a yard per play better offensively, even being just 5-7. The Lions 5-7 record's pretty much what they should be. Yeah, we'll see. You know, Tom, I do the Fade the Public video every Saturday afternoon at Wager Talk TV, wagertalk.com. Everyone's just assuming Minnesota is going to be by far the most public dog of the season. So far, I've seen mixed results on this on some of the consensus sites I look at. Some definitely have Minnesota, but others are kind of 50-50 on this game. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, it will be very interesting. Now, another thing that's interesting in these parts, it's a big deal. We have a big Army base here. Plus, we also the home of the Marshall Space Center. And Navy is apparently like NASA. I thought we had like Space Force for that, but Navy is all gussied up in NASA uniforms. They look like they're spacewalkers or something, astronaut uniforms, and the Army wearing a tank battalion looking uniform. This game, of course, this one will be in Philadelphia, and again, this one flipped a little bit. I think Army was an early favorite. Now Navy is the favorite in that game. And the back number on this thing is 32.5. My research tells me that I think one of the last 5 went over 32 points. But you got to take on this Army-Navy game.
Yeah, I'll tell you, depending on your numbers, it's now 16 straight unders, which is just insane. So we'll see how this one closes out. Let's put it in perspective here. When this under trend began, it was the 2006 game. It was a 49 total, landed 40. Yeah. The year after that, in 2007, the over-under was 64.5. 64.5 was the over-under when this trend began.
Wow.
Now it's 32.5. It's half of what the total was. And now, look, we've been running the under in this for several years. I've had several best bets over the last decade and a half on the under in this game. First of all, the premise. 2 option teams, as you know, Tom, they run the ball every play, right? That keeps the clock moving. It also prevents the big scoring strikes. Like, you're not as likely to get a 75-yard touchdown play when you're running the ball as you are to like a pass play. So the under makes a lot of sense with service academies. I think overall, like when you include Air Force into the mix, it's like a 51-9 under run over the last 60 meetings between all 3 teams. So it's worked extremely well. The question now, though, have the odds makers priced it in enough? You know, it's half of what the total was, as I said, 15 years ago. You'd say, maybe it's priced in. The last 2 years were 36. Every year before that, we had 41 or higher, except for a 38.5. Last 5 years, though, the under is 27, 27, 38, 15, and 30 last year. So 4 of the last 5 years would have gone under this total.
Under this
which
number,
is, I think,
yeah.
That's what you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
And last year is weird because last year there were 17 points scored in the first quarter and then only 13 the rest of the way. So it looked like that over was going to hit last year, and it still didn't. Look, I don't think you can make an argument for the over other than some line value. But like I said, 4 of the last 5 would have still gone under this total.
God, one deep fumble recovery.
I know.
You know what I mean? I mean, at some point in time, they've got to hit it low enough to where it does go over.
The other thing, Tom, too, I want to point out is it's not that they just both run the option. They both know how to defend the option. That's the other big part of the equation, because the option really catches teams off guard. And that's why these schools run it, because they can't compete athletically, obviously, with their recruits like they can in, a Power 5 school. But both defenses are familiar with it. And that's another huge handicapping factor that the odds makers just haven't been able to price in. By the way, looking at rush defenses, Army gives up 5.2 yards per rush. Navy gives up 3.1. Huge defensive edge for Navy. They're giving up 86 rushing yards a game this year, which is insane. Yet they only averaged 4.1, Army 5.6. So very interesting matchup in this game. We'll see how it plays out. And like you said, early money has come in on Navy. They were 1.5 point dog, now a 2.5 point favorite. And I think that's because they have a much better rush defense.
While you were talking there, I went and checked the weather, because that's could always be a factor. We've seen snow games and everything else, rain and everything. 44 degrees and partly sunny at kickoff, dropping through the low 40s throughout the game, but clear. So weather will be of no factor. I mean, it's perfect weather to run the triple option. So apparently that won't be a factor.
And by the way, if anyone wants to see those last 16 games, my colleague Ralph Michaels, the database king at wagertalk.com, is actually the one that put up that graphic. I just retweeted it on Twitter at Steve Merrill, 2 R's, 1L, Merril, at Steve Merrill. So it's pretty good stuff. I know you'll want to check it out. You can use it on the shows. It's got the breakdown of those last 16 games, like database style.
Before we get off to college football and onto the pros, just is there any value in jumping ahead on these bowl games before we know about everything in terms of players opting out and things like that? Particularly Alabama was only a 5.5 point favorite against K-State, and they lost the last 2 Sugar Bowls they went to that weren't meaningful Sugar Bowls, and which is an oxymoron in and of itself. But, it seems like such a short number. What's your thought on jumping on any of these bowl games early, or do you wait right up until the day of the game?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're going to tie your money up for 3 or 4 weeks, like you do with these late December, early January games, you don't want to do that unless you really have an edge. And the only way you really find an edge right now is if you think the number in 3 or 4 weeks is going to be substantially different than the number now, right? Because if it's not, you don't want to tie up your bankroll for 3 weeks. You could be rolling that over on a daily basis with college and pro basketball, NFL football every week. So you want to look at key numbers in football. It's the one sport in which there are really key numbers. We talk about 3, 7, and 10. There's about an 8 to 9% chance a team lands exactly on 3 points as a favorite. 7 would be the next number. And by the way, the Michigan line has gone from 9.5 down to 7.5.
Yeah,
I do think it could possibly hit 7. Georgia is sitting at 6.5 steady. So there again, if you like Georgia, I would recommend playing the 6.5, laying the 6.5. If you like Ohio State, wait, try to get a 7 in 3 or 4 weeks. Same thing. If you like TCU, I'd play the plus 7.5 now. I would wait, try to get a -7 with Michigan. The Alabama game's a little trickier because, it's all about motivation. Obviously, Alabama's a substantially better team than K-State. 3.5's a joke in that regard. But once again, it opened 5.5. It's down to 3.5. I am seeing some 3s out there, Tom. So I think anybody that likes Kansas State, you want to play the plus 3.5 now. If you like Bama, you definitely wait until you get a -3 because there are some starting to show out there.
I'm seeing several 3s right now, but I'm also still seeing 5, which is interesting
5, actually,
to see 3 and 5.
Yeah, we talk about the Wager Talk live odds, and it is a great service. That's the WinBet line. I actually need to message them after the show because that line is stale.
That can't be right. Yeah.
Caesars might still be 4. Caesars is a little bit of an outlier. They get a lot of public action, actually, so that might be an indicator that the public will be coming back in on Alabama in a few weeks. But, right now there are definitely a lot of 3s out there, like you said.
Yeah, so you can depend on what's going to happen in the college football playoff games more than you can in something like the Sugar Bowl until we hear for sure whether Bryce Young and Will Anderson is going to play. Now, I have childlike naivete, so I think they're going to finish with their head held high and they're going to finish the season and they're going to play in the game. Probably not, though. And then if they don't, then it kind of changes the whole the mindset there. And then you're right. Then it comes down to motivation in games like that. Interestingly enough, we were running these numbers because it was very unfortunate, I thought, what Nick Saban did on that Saturday when he referenced the fact that Alabama would be favored against most of the other teams in the playoff, and he was hoping that the committee would take that into account. In fact, Alabama would be a 7 to 9 point favorite over TCU, a 4 point favorite over Michigan, a pick 'em against Ohio State, and a 1 point dog against Georgia. But Vegas doesn't set the playoff field. You got to still win your games, and they lost 2 games as a double-digit favorite, so you don't get to go play.
Right. I mean, it all comes down to how do you want to do the playoff, right? If you really want the 4 best teams, it's Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Michigan. I mean, that's what the power. And to be honest, so if you look at some of the power ratings out there, Tennessee is ahead of Michigan still. So
Tennessee's ahead of TCU too.
Yeah. Well, everyone's ahead of TCU. I've got 9 other teams ahead of TCU, including Kansas State, by the way, who they just played and who just beat them also. And yeah, we talked about it last week. I gave you the math. If both USC and TCU loses, the odds of Alabama getting in, and I thought that's what should have happened. I thought that's what would happen. And my friend Mark Rogers over at Mark Rogers TV, a college football analyst, he said there's still a chance TCU gets in. I was like, all right, I'll make it a 1%. Obviously, I was off on that. My numbers, and I disagree with it. We did say the one chance they had with the loss was a close loss, and that's what happened, 31-28 against K-State. But they weren't one of the 4 best teams going in. They were a 7.5-point dog to Texas 3 games ago. They did win that 17-10. Texas, by the way, is top 8 in my power ratings. So it's not the 4 best teams, and the lines reflect that, right? And we see this every year. We always see at least one of the semifinal games, usually a double-digit blowout, non-competitive. It's not good football. And you have to figure if that happens again this year, like it always does, it's more likely probably Michigan winning by double digits of any other team.
By the way, Steve, I was 6-0 in my picks on the air last week against the spread, including Kansas State. By the way, K-State, the dirty little secret, K-State went to the foot meat leather. They were the favorite in that game against TCU. That went from 2.5 points that TCU was favored by to by the time that game kicked off, K-State was actually a favorite over a team that was going to the national, college football playoffs. And K-State was a 3-loss team, and they were favored in that football game.
Yeah, by the way, Tom, if you want to look back in August when the season began, we had 3 teams that are ahead above everybody else in the future odds. Alabama was 2-1. Ohio State was 3.5-1. Georgia was 5-1 back in August. Clemson was 11-1. That was the team that was supposed to be the 4th team. Everybody else was 22-1 or higher. Michigan, 11th on that list. Michigan was 50-1. And TCU was not even in the top 40. They were 250-1. So regardless of who wins that game, most likely Michigan, we're going to have either a 50-1 or 250-1 long shot in the finals, regardless. I've talked to some odds makers this week in Vegas. They don't have a lot of liability on either team. They don't have much liability on TCU. Basically, nobody was playing them. That's why they were at 250-1. But we will have either a 50-1 or 250-1 long shot in the national finals.
Do you mess around much with any of these props going into a Sunday? Because, there's that story that's floating around there, a better bet on CeeDee Lamb to score the first touchdown in the game against the Indianapolis Colts. And he bet $97,309 at the FanDuel Sportsbook on CeeDee Lamb at plus 700 and cashed the ticket for $681,000 when CeeDee Lamb scored the first touchdown of the game. I mean, that stuff just guessing, or is there some value in those kind of picks?
Yeah, I always tread lightly with these stories. Obviously, if FanDuel is confirming it, they're a reputable book.
Yeah, they did.
So it did happen. But you just wonder about these stories because you see them so much now with social media and stuff. And first of all, most sports books do not allow you to bet that kind of money on a player prop because there is value there. I mean, there's definitely value with player props, and they're very cautious because the sharps kind of, they pick their spots, and a lot of times the limits are 500, 1,000 limit. So when a guy can get down 97,000 on a player prop, especially at a 7-1 or whatever, my guess is that's not a guy that's been beating them consistently, right? Because they're not going to let a guy that's been beating them consistently bet that kind of money. It's just a weird amount, and those things happen, but they have such volume that they take that as a loss leader, right? They're like, man, we just got hit on that one. Let's at least market it so that all the 2,000 other suckers will lose making that same bet. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff, but you got to take it with a grain of salt.
All right. So what's next for you on the Wager Talk TV where people can find you?
Yeah, so did Wager Talk earlier today. That's noon Eastern every day. And then tomorrow I'm going to be doing the college basketball show, and that's at 2 Eastern, 1 Central, your all's time. And easiest thing to do is go to Wager Talk TV on YouTube, wagertalk.com as well. Just hit subscribe, hit the bell. You get instant alerts when these shows go live. And I will have my NFL Fade the Public video every Saturday afternoon, including this weekend. We give you the most public sides in the NFL. Long-term fading them have made you some money. I started the video 2 years ago in late November. It went 31-8 through the Super Bowl. It's gotten really popular since. And that's every Saturday, Steve Merrill, wagertalk.com.
It's still prosportsinfo.com. Links to all of that, too, from there?
Yeah, they can email me and text me directly if they go to my direct page, prosportsinfo.com, if they have any questions about betting and how to win long term.
All right, man. Appreciate you as always. Great stuff.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Chad. Thanks, Tom.
All right, Chad, here's another one. These are some of the things that happened. By the way, there was a score-a-nami, that Dallas-Indianapolis game. Did you know that? You know what a score-a-gami is? You know what a score-a-gami is?
What is that?
A score-a-gami is a score that has never happened before. There has never been an NFL game in the history of the NFL, which is only 103 years now or whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's never been a game that finished 54-19. Never, not one game. Finished 54-19. They call it a scoregami when you get a unique score. It's a first time ever score.
Okay.
In a game, yeah. So that was a because people bet on that. They bet on what the score will be at the end of the game. And you get
we're betting on soccer players biting people and winning millions of dollars. I mean, you pretty much can bet on anything nowadays.
That's always a pretty good thing. A guy got on Kansas State at the beginning of the season. A guy got on K-State to win the Big 12. He bet $50,000 on K-State to win the Big 12 at 12-1. He made $600,000.
Nice
on the bet. There's a good bet.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Stuff like that I like. I just couldn't bet on I see some of the ones that they can do on FanDuel and DraftKings and stuff like that, where it's just are they going to score a touchdown or something like that? It's just tough. Some games are just tough to kind of bet on, especially bet money on those specific bets.
Well, their marketing ploy too. They do this thing where they say, okay, if Derrick Henry gains 10 yards rushing, you get $200 in your account.
Yeah.
When you sign up. Well, they're just trying to get you to sign up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because the reality is, if you're not smart about this, and if you don't look at it as investing, if you look at it as gambling, you lose. I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you this right now. You lose. As a gambler, you lose. All right? The house always, always, always wins. Why do you think that there's all these betting houses and all of these hotels and all of these things? Because you lose.
Yep.
The people who win are a small percentage of them, but they're the ones that use guys like Steve Maryland, Lee Sterling, guys that have systems, and guys that look at it as investing. In other words, when Steve gives out his picks, I get Steve's picks every night. When Steve gives out his picks, he never has you wagering more than 3% of your bankroll. Whatever your bankroll. If you have a $10,000 bankroll or a $100 bankroll, it'll say 3%, which means you bet $3 that night if you have a $100 bankroll. If you set aside $1,000 and he says 3% on the Knicks, then you're betting $30. So it's a system. It's an investing system where at the end of the year he's going to give you more winners than losers. It's going to cover the vig, and away you go. So you got to be careful with all those little goofy things. But there were some weird things that happened, like in the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah.
In the Purdue-Michigan championship game, there was one customer that bet $330,000 at MGM. Bet $330,000 on Purdue plus 16, Grizz. Purdue plus 16. 5 minutes to go in the game, right? Purdue kicks that field goal to make it 36-22. Do the math. 14. 36-22. Purdue is down.
Yeah.
So it's a 14-point game. They go onside kick. Michigan recovers the ensuing onside kick, gets a couple of first downs, and gets down to the Purdue 8-yard line with 2 minutes to go in the game, and Purdue only has one timeout left. Okay? Michigan could have just taken a knee three times and run the clock out. But they didn't. They hand it off on first and second down, and the kid breaks it for an 8-yard touchdown run with 1:22 to make the final score 43-22.
Right. Nobody tackled him.
There goes that $330,000 ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy had a $330,000 bet on Purdue plus 16, and he gets beat, late like that. So, the CeeDee Lamb one, plus 700. The guy bet $79,000 on CeeDee Lamb to score the first touchdown of the game. 10 minutes into the game, Dak Prescott hits CeeDee Lamb on a 20-yard touchdown pass, puts Dallas up 7-3, and the bettor cashes $681,000. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. All right, it's time for us. Speaking of picks, it's time for us to play this week's version of Beat the Big Dog. Got some Army-Navy in here. Also have some NFL action in here. It's a good one. You want to play Beat the Big Dog? You want to take a shot at me? Well, about half of you have won. From well, I won't say half, but how many guys have cashed and Beat the Big Dog? 5 of you. There's been 5 winners so far. North Dakota Dave, Wolverine Joe, Dale, Floyd, and Gunnersville Chris. And by the way, if you 5 guys are listening, or any of you 5 guys are listening, send us a text to the text window with your information so I can figure out how I'm going to get you your tickets. It's 732-982-7469. That's the text window. Text me and say, this is how you get a hold of me. North Dakota Dave, Wolverine Joe, Dale, Floyd, and Gunnersville Chris. I have to get with Grizz to figure out how to get my tickets, Grizz, because they sent me an email. And in the email that they sent me, they said, here are your 30-something tickets. Yeah.
Is it all emails?
Yes.
I just need everybody's email.
Yes, I think.
There might be some people that I still have from last year.
But the email, I'm going to forward what they sent me to, what they sent me. I'm going to forward that to you, and then you figure out how we get it. Because there's like parking pass and different things. You know what I mean?
No,
so
you still, as long as it's all digital, you can still just email it to them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like even the parking passes.
I told you I'm not that smart. I'm still trying to figure out why we gave a convicted arms dealer for a WNBA player. I'm not that smart. My mind blown. I can't figure this stuff out. Okay. All right. Let's be. Tell you what. Let's be. You want to play Beat the Big? I still got tickets to give you. If you can beat me, you can go to the Music City Bowl on New Year's Eve at 11 o'clock. Let's be caller number 3. We haven't used caller number 3 since we've had the daytime show, the lunchtime show. Caller number 3 right now, 256-576-4977. Be caller number 3, and you can play Beat the Big Dog and show off your big brain next, right here on 97.7 ESPN.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Sports medicine. I know when you hear that, you think athletes. It's more than that, and the doctors from TOC Sports know that. That's why they've seen the need and met it. Needs like partnering with more area high schools to provide coverage from sports medicine certified orthopedic physicians and keeping thousands of kids in the game. But also being there for those unexpected bumps and bruises, or when that bad knee finally gives out. TOC Sports is a specialty group of 6 orthopedic physicians dedicated to making sure you keep pace in your active life. Those 6 names, Doctors Michael Cantrell, Brian Carter, Stan Davis, John Greco, James Huey, and Larry Parker. From top to bottom, the physicians of TOC Sports have you covered for any orthopedic need. Hey, you have your choices in doctors or how far you want to drive to see one. There's no need for that. Trust the doctors who care for Huntsville and Madison City schools, Havoc Hockey, Alabama A&M, and numerous other programs. But trust them because they're committed to making you feel better. Call TOC Sports today, 256-539-2728, or check them out at visittoc.com on Facebook and Twitter.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8 Sparky.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Qualis Corporation, headquartered here in Huntsville, is a woman-owned small business providing technical services in the areas of engineering analysis, testing, and support services to both commercial and government customers. For 29 years, Qualis employees have provided award-winning support to complex technical and engineering efforts, helping ensure critical programs, products, and systems are acquired, tested, and fully operational when fielded. Qualis Corporation, proud sponsor of the UAH Chargers. Go Chargers!
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
New Year's Eve in Nashville has a new twist this year.
Touchdown, right up the middle, 45 yards.
The 25th annual Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl is Saturday, December 31st at 11 a.m.
Still on his feet, touchdown!
Get your ticket to the biggest party in Nashville as the Iowa Hawkeyes and Kentucky Wildcats square off at Nissan Stadium. For more information on this year's game, including ticket availability, visit MusicCityBowl.com. Presented by the Tennessee Lottery.
There's nothing like celebrating the holidays with family and friends, and there's no better way to do that than to celebrate at Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. And if you haven't tried our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness, then head on down and try one of Bad Daddy's award-winning burgers now. And you can pair them with one of our signature cocktails or a cold draft beer from our huge selection. Make your holidays extra merry with a trip to Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway between Bob Wallace and Governors.
It's the time of year when football is in the air, and that means cool, crisp fall temperatures are just around the corner. It also means that your home's heating system needs to be checked out before you wake up one morning with no heat. Give Environmental Comfort Systems a call. Visit our website at envcomfort.com. We are your independently owned American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. Alabama license number 92314. Environmental Comfort Systems. That's envcomfort.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky this afternoon. I do think we are going to get a couple of glimpses of sunshine. Temperatures still going to be well above where we should be this time of year. Highs easily climbing into the low and mid-70s. A couple of isolated showers certainly can't be ruled out through the heart of the afternoon, but it does look like many of us might actually spend a good chunk of the day dry. Better opportunities for rain as we head into the overnight, and then early Friday morning, those opportunities for rain are going to continue through Friday afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, more of the Thom Abraham Show on your home for Crimson Tide Sports, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
Beat the Big Dog is brought to you today by North Alabama Mortgage. For all your mortgage needs, it's North Alabama Mortgage. They have the right product for you, get you pre-approved so that when you go out there and you're looking at properties, you are ready to make your purchase, make your purchase offer. Your offer looks a lot more attractive when you're pre-approved. Don't fall for being pre-qualified. Be pre-approved with North Alabama Mortgage. And don't forget about refinance as well. North Alabama Mortgage has the answer. The biggest thing is these things can be kind of scary. They will walk you through the entire process, and they treat you like family. That's what they do. They treat you like family, and we thank them for all the help that they give us, including helping us out with our Christmas party, which is coming up next Wednesday. Please come to the Christmas party. We're gathering up toys. We're going to fill that Rambo Marine boat up, the Malibu boat up with gifts, and we want to send that thing back to Rambo with a bunch of gifts for Toys for Tots, and that'll be very, very cool. Grizz, I got to tell you, I told you earlier in the week I did not like the Army uniform. I do like the Navy uniform. I have now watched the hype video for both the Army and the Navy.
Yes.
And I've swung. Now, I'm still slightly on the side of the Navy uniform, but now that whole Old Ironsides thing and the 80th anniversary, you know, of that Operation Torch and the 1st Armored Division in North Africa, that's swaying me back a little bit more towards. I I kind of digging the Army thing more than I'm even digging the NASA deal. The Navy-NASA connection. I understand that some of them astronauts were Navy. I get that. But it's still a little bit weird. You know what I mean? To me, it seems like a Space Force thing. I want to know something about the Navy doing something more Navy-like. You know what I mean? Because it's like the Navy is glomming onto the NASA thing.
The crazy thing is how many Army engineers worked on the NASA program.
Yeah.
And so, like, I get it. Yes, the astronauts.
It was a joint thing.
Because it's mostly, I guess, it's towards Apollo 14 and you know.
And the spacewalk guy, and I get all of that. And I get that these guys were, former Navy or were Navy Annapolis grads. I understand that. But when I think of the Navy, I think I want it to be more about something having to do with the Navy.
I love the Army videos, man. I love the hype videos.
The Army
man.
wins the hype video. I'm going to say that right now.
They get the tank going and
Army won the hype video.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to say that Army wins the hype video.
Like that one year they crushed the helmet with the tank. That was always that was.
And at the end of their video they say "Go Army, beat Navy," and Navy doesn't say that. So I do miss the days though of we'll never put that paste back in the tube, right? Every single Army Navy game is going to feature special uniforms now. I miss the days when the Navy wore their Navy uniforms and the Army wore their Army uniforms, and they're getting more and more elaborate every time. I don't know what I'm sure they're thinking of what they're going to wear next year and the year after that.
I just like it because it honors like each company, division, whatever. Like I love that feel. Like I love when Navy put the ships on the side of the helmets and stuff like that. I just
that was
like.
A cool one,
I get it that it's more traditional. We love that, but I mean at the end of the day, it's really cool when you're able to take these two historic teams and be able to add a little bit of flavor and stuff like that. I get it. It may not be an SEC matchup. We don't want to see Georgia and Alabama wearing like shiny domes or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I like seeing this kind of thing because one, this is one game between those two teams and these players who are giving their lives to serve this country, but also just be able to play this game of football. And I know a lot of these guys aren't going to go on. Obviously, all of them are not going to go on to be professional athletes, but they're going to go on to be
very few of them will ever be a professional athlete.
So I mean, it's like they're going to go on to be professional people, professional soldiers.
Yeah, they're going to be, they're officers is what they are.
Exactly.
I mean, they're going to all be officers. But I like the traditional uniform. That's just me. But that's, look, I got to be honest with you. I don't know if you saw my post from earlier today. I posted the XFL uniforms.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. I posted the XFL uniforms. They all suck. I mean, if you had to pick three, the St. Louis Battlehawks 1, Vegas Vipers 2, and DC Defenders 3, but even those aren't very good. There's not one team that is wearing football numbers, full athletic block football numbers. All of the uniforms are jacked up. They're tricked up. You know what I mean? They got little
look like LA Ram jerseys.
Yeah, it's like, stop. Okay, yeah, they got like a cracked font on the jersey, and some of them are soccer numbers. You know what I mean? With the in the middle, like the Toronto Blue Jays or something, with the line through the middle of the number. I don't want to see that on. I want you to look like Alabama and Penn State. I want you to look like Auburn. I want you to look like wear football uniforms. And the USFL by far wins the uniform battle. The USFL
Birmingham's?
by far. Oh, the Stallions. I mean, you can go right down the list. The Gamblers. You go right on down the list of the teams that are in the even the new Memphis Southmen, which were the Tampa Bay Vipers, Tampa Bay Bandits. You go right down the list. For the most part, the uniforms in the USFL are better than the uniforms in the XFL. The XFL went goofy, whereas the USFL went traditional. I'll take traditional.
There are rules to success, my friend. Rule number one is know what you know what you don't know, and know that I got to know everything you know as soon as you know it.
Well, Sean is going to do this deal. I don't know if it's Sean in Decatur. I don't know if it's Shane Sean. I don't know if it's just Sean. But he's going to give it a shot and beat the big dog. And just don't be a lemon, Sean. That's all I ask. I don't want you to be. No lemons.
I don't know how to say this without sounding a little rude, but you're a lemon.
No. Be a lemon. All right, Sean, welcome to the show. How are you, man?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I am good. Now, are you a different? You're not. This isn't Shane Sean, and this isn't Sean in Decatur, right?
No, I'm from Gunnersville, but I'm actually in Cincinnati right now.
Have you been on the? Have you been on the show before?
Yes, I believe it was last year. You only missed one, and I think I missed like two.
Oh, okay. All right. So we had a good battle. What are you doing? What are you doing in the Queen City?
I run up to Ohio, up here at Lima 3 times a week.
Oh, you said you were a trucker. Is that what you said? You're an over-the-road guy?
Yes, sir.
So are you listening to us on the? So you're listening on the app then right now?
Yep, listen to it every day.
Oh, well, we appreciate that. We got a great signal, but I don't think our signal will reach to Cincinnati. So I think you have to have the app for that. So it's all right. Wait a minute here, just so I can differentiate you from the other Seans. You are now Trucking Sean. All right, so you're Trucking Sean. So when you call in the future,
Trucker. How about that?
Trucker. There you go. Trucker Sean, the trucker, the trucker.
Respect truckers, man. That's like one job that I swear it's like I want to see the sights. I would love to do, but obviously you got a job to do. So man, I appreciate it, man.
I actually Sean.
Shipping Wars, one of my favorite shows ever that ever came out.
Sean, are you running your own rig or are you running a rig for somebody else?
No, I work local for a company and out of Boaz.
So you're not running one of them big sleeper cabs or anything like that when you run up there to Ohio?
Yes, I got a sleeper truck.
Oh, you do have a sleeper truck.
Got a fancy truck.
They can be really elaborate.
It ain't fancy.
just enough room for you to shack up back there, right?
It gets the job done, though.
Yeah, I hear that. I have often thought about how cool that would be to just, because I love driving. I'd love to be out on the open road. But the older I get, the less I want to. And then you get a day like today that's real windy, and I could imagine fighting that thing, the wind, the crosswinds and everything, and going over bridges. I already have a thing about heights and everything else. I got a little vertigo. And I think about that thing and being out on the open road in one of them big, 18-wheelers. It could get a little hairy out there.
It can.
Yeah. All right, I've got 6 picks here. Do you want to pick first on the first pick, or do you want to pick first on the second pick?
I'll go first.
All right, that means you get to hear Grizz first and get his opinion. You don't have to go with him, but you can get his opinion first. All right, here we go, Grizz. Right off the top. Yeah, Army is getting 2.5 at Navy. Originally, Army was the favorite. Now it flipped over. Army plus 2.5 against Navy. What do you think?
Go Army. Beat Navy.
All right, so he says Army. What do you think, Trucker?
I'll take Army.
All right, I'm gonna go with the Navy here. I think there's a reason why this line flipped. I'm gonna go with the Space Cadets. I guess they're going to space this time. So, but I'll take Navy and I will lay it at 2.5. All right, the back number on this, the over/under number on this game is 32.5. So the question is over or under 32.5. This game always goes under, but they keep pulling the number down. This is where the threshold is. I am going to say, and I know 4 of the last 5 games were less than 32.5. Like last year was 17-13, so it would have been 30. I'm going to say this one goes over. I'll take over 32.5. What do you think, Chris?
It's going to be 20-12. Give me the under.
20-12 is 32. So you want the under.
So I want the under.
So he takes the under. All right. What do you think, Sean?
I'm going under. The clock's going to be moving. I don't think there'll be a lot of points scored.
The clock will move. There's no doubt about that. All right. This one, you guys go first. The Jets. Jets are a pretty good football team, aren't they? The Jets are getting 10.5 at the Bills, Grizz. What do you got?
Oh yeah, definitely. Give me Mike White. Definitely. Give me the Jets and plus 10.5 against the Bills at home.
Who would want to be on that other guy?
And Von Miller's hurt too, so who knows what that defense could look like?
Yeah, right. All right. So what do you think, Trucker Sean? The Jets get 10.5 at the Bills. Their quarterback, Josh Allen, he's no good. He's no Mike White.
No Mike White.
He's no Mike White.
Give me the point.
So he's going to take the points.
I'll take the Jets and the points.
All right, so 10.5. I can't lay 10.5. I can't lay 10.5 with the Bills here. I got to take you. I'm with you guys. I got to take the points. I think the Jets are scrappy tough. I'm going to take the points as well, and I'll take the Jets plus the 10.5. All right, in this one, I go first. The Eagles are minus 7.5. Jalen Hurts minus 7.5 at the Giants. Giants are. Let me tell you something. Giants could lose every one of the rest of their games. Giants are fighting for the playoff lives. I think the Eagles will pull this one out. 7.5. You give me 7.5 at home with the Giants. I think the Giants are going to be scrappy here. I'll take the Giants with the 7.5. Not to win, but to cover the 7.5. I got the Giants at home plus 7.5. What do you got, Chris?
I'm going to take the Eagles here. I really like what Jalen Hurts is doing. The offense is humming. Can the Giants offense even hang out with the Eagles? I know it's a division game. It's always a scrappy game. I feel like every single year. But I don't know if they have enough on offense to kind of hang out with them. So give me the Eagles and yeah.
All right, Trucker Sean, what do you got? Giants getting 7.5 at home against the Eagles.
Give me. I can't give up that many points.
I'll take the G-men. All right, well, you got the Giants. All right,
Giants,
this one you guys go first. All right, Grizz. The Jag-offs, they get 4.5 at the Titans. What do you think about the Jags getting 4.5 at the Titans?
I really like the Jags defense, and I'm really liking Trevor Lawrence at the helm of that offense. And 4.5, I think the Titans will win the game by 2. But yeah, give me the Jags.
All right, he takes the Jags plus the 4.5 in Nashville. What do you think, Sean?
I'll take the Titans at home.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to take the Titans at home, too. I'm going to say they bounce back. The Titans have a tendency to bounce back big off of getting whacked, and they got whacked last week. And so I'm thinking they're going to bounce back here and win this game by 7 to 10 points. All right, last game. I pick first on this one. Tua Tagovailoa, minus 3.5 at Justin Herbert. Now, this is the big one from a couple of years ago from the draft, and everybody said the Finns made a mistake. They should have taken Justin Herbert instead of Tua. Now Tua's a candidate for the MVP, although he did not play well last week, and they got beat in San Francisco. Now they're staying in California to play the Chargers at the Chargers. I'm vamping here because I don't like any. The Finns are a 3.5-point favorite in the game at the Chargers. I got to be honest with you. This could be a little soft spot for the Finns. I'm going to take the Chargers here. I'll pull for the Finns, but I'm going to take the Chargers in this game and get 3.5 at quote unquote home. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, no, give me the Dolphins and give me Tua. I think he's going to prove the doubters wrong, and I think he's bounce back week this week because I think it's going to be a Dolphins home game. I mean, I think anybody walking into the Chargers Stadium is going to be a home game for the opposite team.
You think even all the way over there?
Yeah,
all the way in California.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see what with like the Raiders tonight.
I could see it being but I could see it being like a Falcons home game where it's just literally the entire
Falcons home game,
like last week, where the entire half of the stadium was Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah. You mean like okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Like a Falcons, Falcons home game.
Dolphins fans are going to travel.
If the Falcons went out there, there would be the Falcons they don't even have a home crowd at home half the time. All right, Trucker Sean, what do you got here? You got the Finns minus 3.5 at the Chargers.
Give me the Dolphins and Tua.
All right, so he'll take Tua. So in summation, I am on Navy, and I'm laying you 2.5. You're on Army. I've got the over 32.5. You got the under. We both like the Jets getting 10.5 at the Bills. We both like the Giants getting 7.5 at home against the Eagles. We both like the Titans laying 4.5 to the Jaguars, and I've got the Chargers at home as a 3.5-point dog, I should say. The Chargers getting 3.5 at home, such as it is, against the Miami Dolphins. All right, Sean, be careful out there on that open road, and we'll see how you do.
All right, thank you. You have a good day.
All right, man, you too. Appreciate that guy getting in, listening on the app. It's good stuff. All right, we're going to break in, and we'll come back. We're opening gifts when we return. I'll explain on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
Hey there, folks. Head fry cook Bob Baumhauer here, and I just want to say thank you for allowing Baumhauer's Victory Grill to serve you for 40 legendary years. When I first delivered Alabama's first taste of buffalo wings back in 1981, people thought I was crazy. For the first few years, I had to give wings away. Imagine that. 40 years later, I'm still proud to serve the great people and visitors of Alabama our famous buffalo wings and much more. Here's to 40 years of legendary fun, legendary food, and many, many more.
Are you looking for that right heating and air company to keep those winter blues away? Look no further than Talent Heating and Air. Thomas with us this morning. Thomas, locally owned, no better way to go.
That's right. We're based in Huntsville, so you know you're going to get timely service. Normally we can get to you within that day that you called.
And that number is?
It is 256-503-4490.
And you have special treats for our 97.7 ESPN The Zone listeners.
That's right. For all the listeners that mention this ad, they can get $1,000 off a unit replacement if they call in by the end of the year.
And that number again to call?
256-503-4490.
And 97.7 ESPN The Zone is also happy to announce that we have teamed up with Talent Heating and Air for our December 14th holiday Christmas party benefiting the Toys for Tots. Glad to have you guys aboard.
Yeah, that's right. When y'all talked to us about it, it was a no-brainer for us to get involved with the community and help out kids with the holidays.
All right, it's Talent Heating and Air and 97.7 ESPN The Zone, helping kids this year with our toy drive benefiting Toys for Tots.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhsriserealestate.com.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, "If you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself."
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Segment of Thom Abraham Show and Sweet Home is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, the service department. At Woody Anderson Ford is your only answer when it comes to getting your vehicle serviced. It's Woody Anderson Ford, whether it's a Ford or not. But when you get down there, you're going to want one. Go to WoodyAndersonFord.com and shop the certified gold pre-owned vehicles as well. If you find something you like, do like what we did when we found my wife's Mustang. Call down there and say, please hold that, I'm coming. That's what we did. We were able to buy it as well. Very, very cool. All right. Apparently, Brandon sent a couple of gifts to the radio station. I hope he's coming to the Christmas party. I want to know whether or not Brandon's coming to the Christmas party. All right, Grizz, show the listeners, those of you that are watching on WZZN TV, I'll describe it to you. Show the listeners what he sent you. All right, let's start there. I want to see what did Brandon send you. You hear in the background, he's opening again. All right, seriously, he's opening it.
It's pretty sweet.
It looks like a T-shirt. Or hold this T-shirt up.
Oh, sick.
Right, hang on, let me go blow up my TV
I'll
here.
do it on here. There you go.
Oh my gosh. Even Jesus hates the Yankees?
Even Jesus hates the Yankees.
That's not true.
Yeah, baby.
What makes him think that Jesus hates the Yankees? Well, hold it back up.
Sorry, we only have about a minute and a half.
Okay, don't worry. That's all right. I'm a professional at this. I'll get in it. Even Jesus hates the Yankees. All right. So now is it what size is that?
It is a large.
Is that okay for you?
It's an extra large. It's an extra
large.
I'm gonna have to fill it out some more.
Yeah, you're gonna have to fill it.
I'll be fine. I can fill it out.
All right. I think that is. I think that's rude and not true. All right. So he sent along a gift for me too, which I'm instructing Grizz to open. Yes. So open a gift. This is from Brandon.
So you can hear it
we don't encourage our listeners to send us gifts, but certainly if you want to, that's
unless it's
fine.
Christmas tree cakes. Because if it's Christmas tree cakes, then yes.
It might be a what do you call it? It might be a fruit cake or something. Maybe he thinks I'm a fruit cake. A lot of bubble wrap and tape.
Oh my God. Just on the box it came in. That was a sweet little box.
He was talking about use that box to regift, like the gift you're getting for me. You can put it in that box.
Check it out.
Let's see what this is. I'd hold it up to the window or to the TV camera. Ooh, the Browns are back? Is that what it says?
Yeah, it's on VHS. The Browns are back.
What?
The Browns are back, baby.
Well, our VHS is back? Because how can I watch it? The Browns are back.
You get a keychain with it, too, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What year is it from that it's a VHS? Can you tell on the back or anything? Does it say, like, what's the description of it?
1999.
Oh, they are back.
Inaugural kickoff in their new stadium, September 12th, 1999.
Thank you very much. I'll have to look
Madden
that up on the
2000
YouTube.
exclusive.
I don't want to unwrap
You could have got Madden 2000 exclusive $10 discount with that.
I don't want to.
Back in the day.
Would have paid for the whole Madden back in 2000.
Pay for it now. You pay for two of them.
Well, Madden 2000. It's not Madden 2023.
Yeah, GameStop give you 50 cents.
Thank you, Brandon. We appreciate you so much. Come to our Christmas party on Wednesday night. All right, coming up next, it's the Paul Feinbaum Show. I'm Thom Abraham. This is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryrentals.com to make your reservation